Hello everyone, welcome back. This episode I'm going to talk about on-body carry without a holster or a belt for the most part. Um, I guess technically you can call this a shoulder holster. You got to realize there's no definition in Texas anyway that defines what a holster is or a shoulder holster, or how you can carry your weapon other than in a holster or shoulder holster when you're uh, supposedly carrying your firearm if you're legally able to carry with a permit. But I want to talk about how I carry my firearm or certain firearms without a belt or a holster. So this is where you get into different apparel or carry and conceal apparel. And I've had this thing for over 10 years, maybe, no, I would say 20 years. And a vest is a pretty good way to carry your firearm with you without a belt or a holster. And some of you may see this and look like a fishing vest, or in general any type of sport fishing. This particular vest is something I found at, you're not going to believe this, and what I like to do is I just like to find things that are found in common brand name outlets, whether it be Walmart, Target, or you find things at your mall or Academy, or I'm in Texas. I know in California you got Big Five, Sports Chalet. I'm sure wherever you are, there's some big box retail store that sells either some kind of apparel, clothing apparel, or sporting apparel, or whatever. Sometimes you'll find things that aren't meant or designed to be to carry your firearms. Those are the things that I look for because no one's going to know, and it's a great cover for carrying your firearms on you all the time without letting anybody know that you have a firearm. So this in particular vest, you're not going to believe this, but it came from Banana Republic, and I can't believe this is a small, but it's pretty good. And this is kind of what it looks like. And I've seen one other vest like this. I don't know if I can show it in a way that I have to zip it up. And if anybody out there who knows me and actually met me in real life, they've probably seen me with this on. And chances are, yes, I do have a gun with me on that. So this is the vest here, and this, I can't believe this is a small, but it is. And I bought this 20 years ago, probably over 20 years ago, in which I originally bought it for, and if kind of, there's something on the inside here that kind of tells you what's all in here. Is a snap, I don't know what these lapels, snap lapels to keep camera in place, film can size pocket, D rings and everything. This is actually meant for photographers, people. I was really into the before digital cameras came out, the single reflex lens camera that you have to load film in and everything. So I was really into photography, and saw this Banana Republic and decided to get it. Only later find out it makes a great travel vest, so I can carry my firearms with me. Ironic. And I've only seen one other person have something similar to this, and he was telling me he got this at a surplus, military surplus. Same design almost. It's almost like Banana Republic just ripped that off and then just decided to sell these as photography vests. Anyways, this is a vest that I use to with my belt and my holster. Vests are generally a good apparel to wear when you're carrying and concealing. But since I don't have my belt or my holster with me at the time, I do use this to actually put my gun in one of these pockets to carry and conceal on me. And I don't know if you could say it's an off body or on body. It seems to be a little bit of both, but I would lean more towards on body. And it has a lot of pockets. That's what I liked about it. It does have this nice mesh. I do typically wear this in the summer over my t-shirt, or sometimes I have a white long sleeve shirt. This is like an Under Armour kind of type of clothing, very breathable. And mainly one of the reasons why I wear a long sleeve in the summer is because you know, you get sunburned real easy, so it's protecting my skin from the sun. Anyways, I'll put it on. Let's see what I can show you. It's kind of weird. This is a small, but if it's kind of more like a medium or a large. It depends. After all, it is a vest. And I don't carry a full-size handgun. I've carried 2 firearms with me in this setup, and I carry my .22 and then my little Bond Girl by Bond Arms, a little Derringer style firearm. So let's see here, since I have my vest on. Of course, you know, I carry this with me in the bag. So this is one firearm that I've been carrying it. It's a little bit smaller. It's compact. And then my other firearm, which is the Bond Girl by Bond Arms. Both of these guns, they do different things. I might even be able to carry both of them. This one's actually heavier than this, ironically, because it's a polymer frame, just the aluminum slide on the top, where this is all stainless steel. You can see it's just the handle is stainless steel. The wood is just the decoration for the most part. But let's see if I can move you over so you can see me a little bit better. A little bit better, maybe not. Anyways, so this is the setup here, and I don't see any more of these. I've been to a gun show where they made a replica of this, but it's not quite the same. And again, this was not made for guns, or I don't know, maybe it was. Sometimes when I wear this out in public, it looks like a fishing vest. It also well, back when SR single lens reflex cameras were very popular, that this is a great photography jacket too. I still actually carry my little camera lens. This used to be the first digital camera I got. It was a E10 Olympus, and that thing was hella expensive. And now my phone, the phone that I'm recording on, takes better pictures than this camera did at the time. Well, yeah, but I still carry a, my lens in this. But that's about all I carry now. So I'm going to try to show you where I put this on my body. Again, without the holster or without a belt. It's the type of apparel that you wear that you can carry on body. This one is loaded, and I will show you again. It's loaded, okay? But if you know anything about I did a review on this, and there is a safety here. And not only do you have to have the safety off by pushing this one, there's a little, it comes out, and you can see it's a little pinkish or reddish, and then you put that back in, it's on safe. So there's something blocking the hammer, and then not only that, you also have to pull the hammer to engage the trigger, because the trigger is not engaged. So it's actually very safe. I've been carrying it with me. And so the different ways I carry this is usually I will have a white towel with me, okay, and it's great because I'll have a runny nose. I think this, oh yeah, see, that one's my burger right there. Anyways, I'll have a runny nose sometimes, wipe my nose. So anyways, dry your hands. You know, when you go to McDonald's, they have that thing that blows in your hands and doesn't really dry your hands that good. So they don't. Some bathrooms don't even have paper towels to even give you, or they're running out of paper towels. So I'll just, dry it off. But typically, smaller guns like this, I will just simply put it in like this. That's about it. Have it like that. And either what pocket I choose, I could choose one or the other. Let me see, what pocket am I choosing? Okay, usually depends on what side the knife is on. So if I'm going to choose this side, I'll take the knife out of this pocket and put it in here for my left hand use. So when I have it, I put it into the towel so when it hits something, it doesn't make a, metal clinging noise. It just makes a small little thud, just in case I hit up against something. And also, when this is up against my body, having this up against your body, or a piece of metal on your stomach or in rib or just anywhere for a long period of time, just wears on you. It does. It's at one point it also made me like almost throw up, just having the pressure just push on you. After a while you just kind of want to just gag. But that's why I put the little towel over it. Simply just put it in here, line it down, and the way I have it set up is usually I usually will have it like this, and it just sits better that way. I don't have it set up like this or anything or that. And again, this is without a holster, and it's just open, right? And essentially, this becomes if you really think about it, this is a shoulder. This whole thing is a shoulder holster, right? It goes around my back. Excuse my long hair. So it goes around your back, around here, and it typically you wouldn't tie it up in the front, but as of today in Texas, there is no definition of a shoulder holster, so all I know is that it's over my shoulder, and here's my holster, shoulder holster. The traditional shoulder holster you would have your firearm like right here, but if you think about it, that's not a shoulder holster, that's an armpit holster, right? Or whether if you have it like this, That's not a shoulder holster. I don't know why people call that with a shoulder holster. It's really an armpit holster. Anyways, I'm just being a little silly. Obviously, it's shoulder holster because it's my holster straps around my shoulder in which I carry my gun. But again, there's no definition. Typical people think about shoulder holsters in two ways. The one that kind of goes under here, and then you have the belt that just goes around your shoulder, across your chest, right? A belt that goes around your shoulder, across your chest, and then you put a holster. There's a holster at this side in which you put your gun. Well, again, there's no definition of a shoulder holster, at least in Texas anyway. I haven't been able to find any laws pertaining to carry and conceal or carrying that tells me what exactly a holster or a shoulder holster is. So I'll just call this my shoulder holster. The whole thing's my shoulder. The whole thing's a shoulder holster. So that's how I usually like to have it. And this is a very deep pocket. There's actually 1, 2, and I don't carry it in this pocket because it's just too big. It just flops around. It carries a lot of, you can see it carries a lot of things. Has a little elastic here. So I carry this here for my left hand typically, and I like it this way because it is small, it is hard to get to, and the towel wrapped in it kind of keeps it well in place. So that's one side, and the gun is so small I can use with my left hand. So my left hand, my right hand. This one, on the other hand, my Walther P22. I just did a review on this one. I got this mainly as a great companion gun to the AR, and plus I'm also thinking about getting a 22 conversion for my AR-15. So if I'm going to get a 22 rounds, 22 long rifle rounds, might as well just go ahead and get a pistol as well. And I'm contemplating whether to get a silencer as well, because the 22 really is the 22 in a pistol is really, I think, a strange firearm to have, because mainly they're small rounds. They are not deadly like a 357 Magnum, which this is the 357 Magnum. Short range, but it has stopping power, one-shot stopping power, versus a 22, which doesn't have that one-stop stopping power, but it's still deadly. I would say lethal, because it can cause serious damage, but doesn't have stopping power. But the 22 is very easy to fire, very light, very easy to put on target, especially from 5 to 7 yards. And it's not a lot of recoil. The rounds themselves are a little questionable because sometimes they will not fire, but that's only if you shot around 100 rounds in this thing. If you cleaned it and this is well cleaned, if you cleaned it and maintain it, if you clean it and maintained it, it will feed and it will fire. But the interesting thing about the 22 is that it's threaded, and you can see that you can see that there's a place right there to have it unthread. This is just the sleeve, and then the barrel is actually inside there, in which you can thread a silencer. And so I'm contemplating whether getting a tax stamp for that. This is another thing. Sometimes it gets a little stuck. That's the only thing about the Walther. Sometimes gets a little stuck. Anyways, but I carry this because it's lightweight, small, and it it's easy to carry, easy to shoot. Not one stop, it's not a one-shot stopping power, but it will deter. Any gun that shoots bullets, I think it's a great deterrent against anybody trying to attack you for whatever reason, whether it be a bad actor or a good actor, a criminal or a law enforcement. For me, it's not whether you're a criminal or not. I don't really care. You could be like a priest, but if a priest is coming out after me, I'm going to stop the priest. I mean, there's no, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be, you can even be a policeman if you are acting, if circumstances are in a way that I have to defend myself. So be it. Of course, a policeman would not attack you, or would they? I don't know. The whole point is that it doesn't matter who is committing the aggression. You have the right to defend yourself. So, bad people come in many shapes and forms and sizes and of any race, and sometimes they wear uniforms. Sometimes they have badges. Okay, we have to face reality. All right, not everybody who is in uniform and wears a badge is a good person. All right, I'm not saying all of them are bad. I'm just saying not everybody. So let's just not drop your guard down because someone's in uniform. They may not even be a police officer. All right, they may not be a law enforcement. They may be just disguised to lower your guard. So, anyways, I'm contemplating the silencer. It's one of these. The 22 is unique. I never looked into a 22 until recent, and from shooting it and looking at it and seeing that it holds is able to take a silencer because of the threaded barrel. This gun is great at, I would say, sneaking up on somebody. You add a silencer, you could definitely sneak up on someone very close range and pull the trigger. A 22 that hits someone in the head, I believe, no matter what, will knock them out. The reason why I say this is less than deadly is because you can shoot someone with a 22 and they won't die, but they may be in a coma forever. So that's why it doesn't effectively kill you, right? I mean, you could still be alive but brain dead. But the thing about the 22 is it's quiet, especially if you put a silencer on. So it's an interesting type of gun. I wouldn't say it is a self-defense gun, but at the same time, the potential of this being more than a self-defense, as in I'm gonna say it's an assassination gun, right? I mean, it's a very covert assassination gun, a pistol, something you can put a silencer on. It's not very loud. It's lightweight. It's easy to put a bullet to the target. It really, and it's so small. It's very concealable, and so it's an interesting. The 22 pistol is very interesting to me. Contemplating where to get a silencer because it is a unique thing. Anyways, I also learned that you can actually do a lot of things to silence this. Again, 22 long rifle is not very loud compared to other rounds, but I like to do the same thing on this. is, again, take a towel, and it reaches right in here. I don't use a holster for it, and this is how I carry it, like this, and it fits in this particular pocket. It actually has a little zipper, so I like to carry my more, I guess, compared to the Bond Girl, this is a high capacity pistol. It has a high capacity, magazine, which is 10 rounds compared to the 2-round. So I guess you could technically say this is a high capacity pistol compared to this gun. My high capacity magazine, of course, I usually like to keep the oh, sorry, it's always annoying. I usually like to keep the hammer down, and then put that in here like this. And this is another off body, and this is on my strong side, on my right hand. This one fits just right in there. And I like to lay it again. And this one has a zipper, so this one's a little bit more secure. And again, I like to lay it down, upside down, where the barrel or the slide is resting, and it feels a lot more secure than trying to get it set up where it's like this, where I could just grab it and pull it out. In my opinion, the concealing is well, let me just take this out now. So that's how I on body carry. I could not put a towel on this, and just to show you, because this is very safe. Safety. And then there you go. And so far, since it's on me like this, it doesn't feel that heavy at all. And I don't put anything in these pockets. Of course, when I do put the 22, I do carry my extra. I carry my little starter pack. I call these starter packs. When you get your whatever firearm you get, they usually get you a bag with all this other stuff that you need to do with it. I usually take all the goodies and I put them into a bag, and have the magazine clip with loaded, and a few extra. In this case, I only have 2 rounds, so for whatever reason. But I'll carry this with me in one of these right here. As far as this particular gun here, if you've seen any of my other videos on this, you'll know that I think is it this one? No, I think it's this one. I'm sorry, it's this one right here. For some reason, when this is discharged, and I don't understand, because they both fit. They both fit in there really, really good, but for whatever reason, this bottom one, when it's discharged, the shell gets really stuck in here to the point where it's really hard to eject the shells. Of course, right now they work. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if it's a defect, but anyways, it only has 2 shots, so I don't even try to bother reloading this. It's only 2 shots, so I don't carry any more ammo for this. So put that in there, and that's how I carry these 2 particular firearm with me. I can also have this zip open. I have this the wrong way. When you do it, when you put in the gun, you want to put it in the way that goes like this. That way, when you grab it, you can just grab it like that. Just grab it out, pull it out like that. So keep that in mind when you do this. So when I get it, and I just leave the towel in there as I pull it out. So there it is, just like that. And so normally, if I did carry it on my body, I normally would have one in the chamber. Of course, my Bond girl is always loaded. So there's obviously, you've seen it, two in the chamber, I should say. But normally I would have one in the chamber when I do carry on me, but this comes from my little Babolat bag, which any off body I normally don't chamber, but if I did carry this, I would chamber it. And again, it does have a safety. So the smaller guns, I don't mind having a safety because they don't have holsters. So when they don't have a holster, I prefer to have the safety on. Have a lot of safety mechanisms that don't allow for accidental discharge. So again, safety, and then not in the chamber. So well, this one I probably would chamber, just have a safety on. But as for my regular firearms, when I wear this vest, I could actually have multiple guns. I can actually have the 22 with the Bond arms, Bond girl, and then have them in my both pockets right here, and then my other, if I had my belt in my holster, my other gun, which is somewhere else. My other holster, my belt actually goes right up here, and actually I don't have it in my waist or in my pants. Actually, it's just a belt that I just clip on right here. Actually, the clip is here, and the holster is here, and I don't take it off. I just reach in here, and then was able to pull out the pistol that a 9mm. Anyways, so this is my on-body carry with these two particular handguns here. My Walter P22, and I'll just take you back down here now. So basically, these are the main two guns that I would carry on my vest, not in a holster on a belt, mainly because they're very small, relatively light. This one not so light, but it is a 357 Magnum. I don't know if you can see that. Well, it's a 357 Magnum, so I know it has good stopping power. And then my less than deadly but lethal Walter P22. Again, I have mentioned the 22 pistols are, I think, a very, I don't know if they're defensive or just good to have. I think any gun is a good defensive gun, but this whole excuse me, this whole idea of the 22 pistol and the way this is set up, I mean, it's just set up for suppressors. And the 22, I mean, this is how big it is. I'll just comparison. Between a 22 and, I mean, look at the comparison. This is obviously going to make a lot of noise, a lot of probably kickback as well, versus something like this, And what's ironic is this is barely, this round here is barely smaller than your 223s or even your 5.56 on your ARs. And if you think about that, that's why you can put a conversion into your AR pistol for a 22 long rifle. So, of course, most of you probably already know that. But but the amount of gunpowder in here, obviously, it's not for long distance. Well, compared to the amount of gunpowder in here, but you're not doing a 600-yard sniping with this, or with this, but it doesn't make a lot of noise. You put a suppressor on you put a suppressor on this, and the suppressor for one of these is way cheaper. And not only that, there's other methods of suppressing a firearm if you understand how a suppressor works and where the sound and the noise comes in. It's mostly the gases coming out of the barrel, the hot gas coming out of the barrel. Other than that, the suppressor itself does not guide the bullet in any way. It just simply passes through, trapping the gas. And at the end, it's just a little bullet coming out. Actually, the bullet comes out before the gas comes out. So what follows behind it is the hot gases. And that's what you're basically muffling, the trapping those hot gases from causing the loud noise. So, the Walther P22, it's an interesting platform. The whole 22 pistol of any kind manufacturer, it's a whole interesting platform, mainly because it is, any gun's a self-defense gun, but these smaller, the 22 pistols, I personally think are made for assassinations, very close quarter assassinations, because of the type of ammo, the size of the firearm, and then the threaded barrel, allowing it for a silencer. It's a type of gun I don't think you really do self-defensing with this, but you can. I think it's a gun that's mainly used for, well, I don't know how to say it, but killing silently, very discreetly. So, interesting platform. I'm not saying people do that. What I am saying is, when I look at this firearm and I compare it to this firearm, or even now, this is something I'm not going to wear on my vest, but if I compare the firearms, there's obviously no threaded barrel on this. The rounds, the cartridge itself, it's very powerful. It has a special purpose, close range, and one shot stopping power, very similar to this as well. But if it's a further range, and 357 Magnums as well, and unloaded here, stopping power. But the 22 pistol, and I'm sorry if I'm getting off subject here, I'm trying to talk about on-body carry, but the 22 pistol, I mean, the more I look at it, the more I shoot it, and the more I learn about it, it's not going to stop anybody on a one shot unless you specifically aim that shot at probably the head. Now, it won't kill, it may not kill, a person if you shot someone in the head, because you'll still be breathing, your heart will still be going, but effectively you'll be brain dead. That's why I think it's not deadly, but lethal. But ironically, more people, from what I understand and what I've heard, are killed by the 22 long rifle than any other, uh, you know, bullet out there. So that also is another reason why I think the 22 pistol are a different. They're different. There's something different about the 22 pistol than your other pistols. Although other pistols, larger calibers, will have threaded barrels and all this other stuff, but I just think the 22 has a very specific niche, and my feelings are that niche is not really self-defense per se. I think it's more covert and what even assassination type, because it's the design of this is not in a way that you would take this to a gunfight, but you can use this in a well, very covert operation of where you want to take someone out. You want to kill somebody. Well, you're not going to kill them. You're going to, you can shoot someone with this and they can still be alive, but basically be comatized forever. So it's kind of interesting. The 22 long rifle pistols. So anyway, that's just my opinion. Anyway, let me conclude this episode. And my experience with carrying my experience carrying a firearm in this setup is you have to have the right apparel. Without the right apparel, all this is not going to work for you. But this is another way, without a holster or without a belt, to carry a firearm with you that will basically secure it. And I feel very safe this being on me because they are loaded, or this will be loaded, I should say, and to the point where I know it's very safe. And I could have one for my left, one for my right hand, and depends how I want to carry it. So anyways, let's pan down to this here. So anyways, feel free to comment, like, dislike, or even do a video response. Until next time, stay tuned.